this. Boo-doo-doop. Okay. Seems to be smooth, but I don't know how all the platforms are probably looking. It says everything is connected, so that's good. It's a great sign. But the last time it said that it couldn't handle the upload. Granted, my internet's a lot better now, so maybe we can, maybe it'll work. We'll see. Dude. My body is like doing everything it possibly can to kill me. I don't understand. Alright, that's working. I forgot to get that set up. Need to write that down because otherwise I'll forget. Keep forgetting to set up my blast notification stuff for Hootsuite. I mean, this stream is mainly just to make sure everything works. Eight. If I go to the dashboard, it says fair. That's annoying. I wanted to see if it was given clean video for. I guess I can look at it on and judge it from Facebook. Let's see how Facebook is going. It's going to give me audio, so there might be some echo. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yep, there it is. Okay, doesn't sound terrible. My mic sounds a little compressed. Hold on. There's a gain. Crank that back just a tad. Yeah, just I don't know what that is. Now I'm doing fucking quality control. That sounds okay. That's not bad. Okay. Aye. Let me. If I can find the right scene. I used to have macros and everything set up for all of my scene switching. Man, there's so much noise in that camera. I'm gonna have to figure something else out with lighting. Or I don't know. I was thinking about I'm thinking about a lot of stuff. I'm thinking about trying to get the podcast and whatnot going again, and just getting back into a normal schedule of recording stuff and streaming stuff, and trying to figure out what that would even look like, along with some other personal stuff that's going on in my life. That's gonna make doing that probably more challenging. But I am kind of at a point now where I need to be doing something. I'm kind of driving myself nuts, just kind of sitting around waiting. But we're not doing that today. Today we're gonna be playing some Snap. Trying to decide if I want to just play regular ladder or if I want to do some conquest, because I've got some gold tickets saved up. I'm like, oh yeah, I could grind some conquest, but I also wanted to uh, watch some videos because I can't just sit down and play a game because my brain is like, that's not enough stimulation. It needs more. So it looks like everything is smooth, which is good. Hold on. Damn. Oh, I just realized Facebook. Oh, it doesn't have a scrub. That's stupid. It's kind of silly. All right. Well, Facebook doesn't have a scrub. YouTube does. So let's see what YouTube's looking like. YouTube's probably going to autoplay. Yep. Okay. Ooh. That quality's rough. Oh, well, okay. Can I? Underage activity is not hitting. I got it. That's cool. Thank you. It was like, but we have this information. We need you to see it. I'm like, okay, thank you. That's not bad. It's kind of, yeah, it's pretty. I don't like that. I don't like the quality of that. I was looking for that cup. I just realized it was back there. Well, shit. I don't know if that's like an encoding thing. It's giving me the warning that my bitrate is already higher than some of these services can handle. I'm not even looking at Kick right now because that's just going to be a mess. Also, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling. Oh, cool. Okay, so Kick Chat has been integrated. That's good. So I can see chat from Kick, which is good. Okay, hell yeah. Just awesome. All right, let's get into the thing. That's my stream. That can go away. Don't need that. So there's a video from this guy named Turb. Some of you might know about you probably heard of Jubilee. They do like all of the middle ground videos and all that stuff. Oh cool, I didn't ever notice that difference. Not leaving that on, but that's kind of cool. But long story short, they released this guy released a video that says Jubilee has a racism problem, and knowing me, that piqued my interest, and I was like, I've watched like a ton of Jubilee videos, and I don't have any issues with them in terms of like anything that pops out to me is like, oh, they're racist. But I don't know. Maybe this guy has a point, but we'll let him explain it. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. I think that's cringe. I think that almost made me. if I wasn't streaming, I probably would have immediately clicked off of that video. Like that's a hard like pass for me. If like seconds into the video, 17 seconds into the video, 15 seconds into the video, you're just dropping like racial slurs. It's like, all right, dog. All right. Oh shit. Let me get my stuff off the stove. I'll be right back. Fuck. Right. Hopefully that I also think that's actually insane. Now that I'm thinking about it. That's crazy that he's able to get away with that. Like, damn, that's wild. Okay, anywho, let's
enough sins this month, so now you gotta go to Jubilee.
I just realized.
Hey guys, today we found a couple of cream colored crackers on TikTok, and today I want to talk about those people on TikTok and all
yikes,
that
dude.
stuff.
It's a big yikes.
On TikTok.
Hater. Yeah, that's not happening. It's me, the devil. You didn't do enough sins this month, so now you gotta go to Jubilee Purgatory.
At least this time it wasn't a crime against the cream colored conquistadors.
Like, I know everybody says this whole thing about like, imagine if things are switched, but in this case, like, imagine if some white dude started a video, and like 30 seconds, 15 seconds into the video, he's dropping like slurs and just like talking about people's skin color. That's wild to me. That's crazy. I don't know. Iceman. I don't care about the black cat.
Editing Aronok here. We decided to split the video into two parts. So the second half is more focused on the transphobia, but it does come up during this one. Also, Turb lost the first hour of his footage, so had to re-record all of that. So if anything seems a little disconnected, that's why.
Also, this video is a critique on Jubilee's centrism, not the people. The people may be bigoted, but let's keep the harassment at a zero. Don't attack.
You started the video off with her. What the fuck, dog?
I'll pat you on the head.
Isn't this my room?
Oh, hey, Turb. I guess you're the person I gotta service next. I should probably explain how I ended up here. Lucy doesn't love it when people attack and dethrone his dad.
That's kind of base though. I think God's doing some weird stuff in heaven. I mean, like, what's up with that? Ten Commandments thing. That seems like a sub-dom kind of fetishy thing.
It was more like Lucy wanted to be the one to do it. So, like, as a little favor, I've come to just deal with some cases, do a little, you know, punishing of people. That's also kind of just torture for me because we're watching Jubilee videos. We're watching Jubilee videos.
I don't think I'm winning this one.
A hit woman?
Yeah.
Do you work for hire?
Yeah, you can hire me.
Okay, listen, I kind of want to take someone out. Like on a nice sunlit dinner, maybe a couple wine glasses, maybe a dessert.
Hey, you guys. Actually get on with it now.
So what are we gonna watch first? Choose your poison, my guy.
Well, Jubilee has 993 videos dedicated to provoking human understanding and connection.
What they mean by that is being very centrist and pretending like that's not a political position.
You know, some human connections aren't really the ones we want to create. Some of these connections.
I think being centrist is a political position. I think people that like look at people who are quote unquote centrist as just like fence sitters. Like, on one hand, there are some people that call themselves centrist that like, yeah, that shoe fits. Like, you can, they just don't want to stake out a position on anything. They want to like be in the middle. But on the other hand, there are some people that literally just have a lot of nuance, and people just don't know how to, like, I don't know. I find that some people struggle to deal with that. Like, a lot of times it's like, I don't know what to play. No. I think I'm losing this. I don't think I'm playing. But yeah, I think, I'm glad I didn't do that. That would have been bad. I think people just really struggle with nuance. And it's a little sad, because it's like, most of the time, that's probably where you want to be, is somewhere in the middle. Like, why would you want someone who's like so far one way or the other? Like, you would think that would be, like, the ideal would be to not be there, but I don't know. Yeah, we're retreating out of this. It's no bueno.
Are in conformity with the ones that are enacting those means of racism.
It's almost like when we pretend that people debating, you know, my existence or your existence have a point.
I'm sorry, I'm pausing a lot, but too bad. I'm gonna pause a lot. I think that sentence, that statement, sometimes that is the case. I'm not gonna say that it's not the case. Sometimes people are genuinely debating, like, okay, I'm gonna break this term down. When people are like debating someone's existence, that is like the most simplistic, I think, interpretation of what some people are saying. Like, if somebody says like, hey, I don't think, I'm just going to use race. There's obviously other stuff that you can apply to this, but I'll just use race for now. But if somebody were to say like, hey, I think black people learn things differently, or their brains are different or whatever, that is not someone debating my existence. Clearly, like that's such a loaded phrase that would mean as though like I'm debating that black people don't exist. Like, if that's not what you're saying, then find a better way to say whatever you're like. If that's not what you're trying to come like give across when you say something like that, then you should find better words for that, because that's how it sounds, and that's how people that react so harshly to that phrase hear it. So it's like, use better words. that's a lot of the people that I tend to agree with, like, politically. Sometimes when they say stuff, I'm just like, you gotta find better words. Like, this is ridiculous. Ooh, Nexus. Okay. I think we literally hard spam Nexus. Like, if I play armor and do nothing until turn 6, I guess I could play Black Cat if I draw her. Oh, he's gonna play he's gonna play Darkhawk. I don't care about your Mantis, as long as you don't steal my shit. Please don't steal my cards. I need them, okay? Well, it didn't get discarded, so he didn't draw Black Cat. We're doing alright. Draw another armor. Yeah. But yeah, anytime somebody says like, this person's debating whether or not I exist, and like, that's probably not what they're doing. They probably have some like hang up with something more specific, and by just saying that they're debating your existence is like, I understand you hate them, and you probably have good reason to, but by just completely dismissing what they're saying, by throwing the hat of they're debating my existence, or whether or not it's like whether or not I should be alive, or whether or not I'm a real thing, or whatever. It's like, I don't know what good that's honestly going to do you. Like, it's that person's not going to hear you. Like, they're like, I don't, to me, I don't feel like that really does you much good. Mr. Fantastic. It's okay. I think we can still outplay that. Come on, dude, please. Okay. I've been trying to play minimally, but this is tough.
That's not great.
I don't know, guys. I think it's pretty great when people pretend like they aren't evil and then just do horrible things.
Jubilee is literally doing these elaborate Trojan horses of white supremacy for those dads that you see clipping figure 8 shrubs in the suburbs. Not really us. They don't really want to create connections with us. And there's this one I'm seeing right now. It says, did slavery affect your family? Africans versus African Americans. And as an African, I think that's a pretty interesting conversation. Would you like to start the video now?
I think we kind of have to.
Hey, Turb, it's me, the devil. You gotta watch the video now.
Okay. Hey, I'm clicking Lucifer.
I don't understand the point of this devil character.
God came here to better my life, and I feel like personally we need to stop using the word racism when we don't get something or when something don't go our way.
I'm gonna pause this immediately. I got something to say. So a lot of Africans don't get the rhetoric of racism in the Western world for very good reason, because over there racism works so much more differently than what it does here because of the effects of imperialism. Whereas in predominantly black places, like where I live in South Sudan, racism doesn't work in the same way as it does in the West. In confliction with actual white actors, you know what I mean? More so, this racism is split between divides on ethno groups, like distinct ethno groups, and features, heavily including colorism. Obviously, it's not like that everywhere, because in places like South Africa, you actually have white actors inflicting an apartheid state, but it's not in the whole of Africa. So I see how this specific person, I guess that's their experience with it.
I think that's a pretty fair critique. I think that's apt. That was like probably the first thing that this guy said that I'm like, okay, all right, that makes sense. Like, obviously, like racism is going to be different for people in Africa than it is in America. It's like a completely different history. I would go a little bit further to say that I think that Americans, we have a bad habit of like broadening terms so vast, like so broad that they don't mean anything after a certain point. I think that's not a good thing. Personally, I think we need to get better at just like, it's one thing to evolve our language. It's another thing to like broaden a term that already meant something else to include a million other things. I would be more inclined to just be like, okay, cool. We have this new weird thing that we never really thought of before, we never grappled with. Let's try to come up with a term that fits, that's like colloquially acceptable, like for the masses, for that term, instead of just like lumping it in with something that already existed and has like other connotations already attached to it.
Because it was also mine and a lot of my family's, where it's like we come to the West and we have this glamorized idea of like, oh my god, America, Canada, look here, we can have freedom, we can do so much things. But guess what? You're still not free from the shackles of white supremacy. That bitch everywhere, man. That bitch everywhere, and that bitch carry a whip with her. She whipping. And and I live in...
I don't know about that, man. Like, I feel like if you look at the world, like everything stems from like, ooh, not my destroyer. Oh my god. I've actually not lost a destroyer. I don't think I've lost a destroyer since I've been playing this deck. That's that actually really changes the way. That super changes the way my late game works. And I'm not really giving much thought to that. I don't know why I wasn't expecting the carnage. Don't know why. Fuck. This might be a retreat. I didn't think this all the way through, guys. I fucked up. Maybe. Hold on. We might be able to recover this with Storm and Professor. Might be able to pull it off. I don't know. Don't look at the world in, like, from the lens of just like, hey, these systems are out to get me. Like, that's probably not a very helpful outlook on the way things are. Just saying. I don't have... Dude, this is gonna be nuts!
Wind, aid my hand.
Death? Okay. Alright. Oh my god! I think I get a... Do I get a free W? If I just play... No, because then that's... Damn! I'm so greedy. I want to see if I can get the... Hey, Georgia, I do a custom design for content creator. Would you like to see my portfolio? No, I appreciate it, but no, I do all of my own designs. Like I kind of went to school for design and whatnot. But yeah, I appreciate the offer, but I'm good. Thank you though. Also welcome. How's it going? I think it's been a while since I've talked to anybody on Twitch. I've been so far away from Twitch for the last, like, I've been making videos and stuff. Okay, I think we drop homie over here. Really? I fucked that up, didn't I? Yeah. That was bad. I win left. And he's on the play. Yeah, we retreat out of this. This is bad. I think I messed it up. I probably should have played...
Escaped.
I probably should have played... Damn, how should I play that? If I had dropped the professor here, I'd be down by 7. Then I could play that and tie. He'd be down by 9 and I would have won. Yeah. No! I should have played it on right. Yeah. Because even if he didn't play on Nimrod, then I could win out by dropping Jeff over that way too. My brain, I didn't think that through. Oh well. Because then I could have played Nebula here and then there, and then that still would have been 3 power on that lane. A lesson for a cube. A 1 cube lesson. Alright.
Canada, like one of the best places in the world, apparently, in the West. That's what people think.
People think.
People think, yeah. And there's a cognitive dissonance with parents and children, specifically, and when we're talking about spheres of racism, because children see the difference between middle class, upper class, whatever. I remember the first time I went to a middle class household, and I sat down and had dinner for the first time. I had 3 meals that day. What? That's a jarring experience for a lot of us. And the problem is, even as we're subjected like into the country, the townhouses they stick us in, poor infrastructure, awful infrastructure. When I lived in the north side, there literally were some days where they had to bring a water truck out, and we had to come with like buckets and everything and grab water from those buckets because our water was ass, and because our electricity wasn't running, sometimes we had to like sleep no electricity, and that happens, and that's just a thing that happens. That's the thing that people that are not from townhousing or from disenfranchised areas will not see. And it's racist because they stick all the immigrants in it while their parents work part-time jobs and still have that same rhetoric of, oh, the Western idea, and instill it onto their kids. Well, it's 10 times harder for their kids to even ascend to that position than it is for white kids or other higher privileged kids.
I think it's the lack of engaging with racism as a system. Like I see the same types of failures in context and communities that I'm a part of. There's a certain type of rich and white queer person that doesn't recognize these things as like systemic, and they engage in it as like interpersonal. The peak Buddha judges, right, where they're like, well, we got marriage, we're equal, everything's good, and it's like, no, it isn't. You're fine to some degree, except that your acceptance is completely conditional and they'll tear it away from you as fast as they can. But also just that, like, because they're in a position where they're economically sound,
Come on.
aren't experiencing like really direct discrimination in their workplace, they don't register that.
That's so frustrating.
People, usually BIPOC queer people and disabled queer people.
I get that negligence to issues that kind of privilege because in
I don't know. I'm looking at
like that, where it's like
divisions as a possible addition to this deck instead of Hobgoblin.
Forces, you know, in government,
like that mobile 8 power seems kind of
beefing without
good.
acknowledging this group is more privileged or something.
Actually, let's test that out.
Sectional terms with their differences, and I get what they're saying when they're saying let's just erase the word black and white and nothing will ever happen. You know, that will erase the connotation of it, but it won't. And trust me, because I live in that same world, I live in that same neoliberal mindset of like, okay, if I ignore my skin tone, if I ignore my peers' skin tone, if I ignore everything, then racism won't affect me, racism won't touch me. But guess what? That shit still touched me. Just because I don't see my own color, that racist gun with the cop is still gonna see my color.
Like, that's true to a certain extent. That's like one of those things where it's like, all right, okay, I'll talk about my childhood. Like, I didn't grow up in like a super like quote unquote white like neighborhood or anything like that. We weren't around a lot of like the maybe not as privileged communities or anything like that. We were very like, I would just say middle class. So there were some aspects of like racism or like things like the white cop or whatever that he just referenced, like that I didn't experience, but I wouldn't attribute that to necessarily my skin color or the lack of the being in those like lesser privileged like areas. While that does play a role, I'm not saying it's like completely irrelevant. I would probably say it's more to like culture. I know people hear that when you talk about race and then they lose their goddamn minds. And I understand why, I get it. But I feel like when you attribute all of the power of the situation to something that you can't control, that's very lazy. Just because if you do that, then that the what's the word I'm looking for? The conclusion that you kind of get to is just like, oh, I can't control it, so I don't have to do anything. There's nothing I can do to better the situation. So I'll just sit there, and it reminds me of like that one scene in the Barbie movie where Barbie just kind of gives up and she just kind of sits on the grass. It's like, nah, like, yes, there are things that are out of your control. Yes, there's going to be that person, the racist cop with the gun. But just because that thing is out of your control doesn't mean that you have no responsibility in the interactions to like have a better outcome. I think somebody was talking about a completely different subject, but they used accidents in driving. Like, when you're on the road, if somebody like T-bones you or hits you and you get in an accident on the road, it's not your fault that person T-boned you or rear-ended you, but there are things that you could do to mitigate or to try to make that situation safer for you or lessen the odds of that happening to you. Like, just because something's out of your control doesn't mean, or just because something's not completely in your control doesn't mean that you have zero control whatsoever over the situation. Like, you have some agency, like, use it, you know?
Like, this whole thing of abandon the idea of black and white is backwards in itself.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. It's like, that's great.
I wonder how this works. I wonder if this is gonna be good.
Your rich friends who tend to accept
it's
you.
tough.
But like, when it comes down to it,
because he can't move into
a word I can't say on YouTube.
Yeah.
To the bigots, and like to a queer person who's poor, especially if they're not white, as you said, that cop's gun is the same, you know. And as someone who's experienced violence and violent harassment, like in the city that I live in, I think if you're rich enough, you're gonna get to isolate yourself from that type of experience of being harassed. Because like, if you're fucking rich enough, you're not going to the grocery store.
Yeah, you're doing that Walmart Plus shit that like Kim Kardashian is doing right now. You're getting that shit shipped to your house. You're not going outside.
When you're rich enough, you don't have to interact with the dirty pores. Like,
yeah.
Like Turb and I, you're not interacting with the people that Turb and I have to deal with. Like, you're just not. And even then, like, we know
let me
for
see
a
what
fact
this
that level of richness doesn't completely absolve you of dealing with that shit. As you said, right?
You're still black to a cop.
I have this.
Yeah. Let me put you in a little bit of a thought experiment. If you're a black comedian, right, you're going up, right, you're making jokes, you're making the audience laugh, right, you might feel hella good about yourself. But if there was a 90% white audience laughing at black jokes, and your whole platform is centered around laughing at black people, clowning black people for these fucking cauliflower cream color chemical compounds, then what?
If you
I am like, I'm like the number one. Oh my god, Kamavinya. I'm uncultured. You're gonna have to explain that one to me. I'm so sorry. Please, my bad. Is that? Oh, were you referring to? Oh shit. What was I about to play? Oh yeah, this. I already snapped. I think this is a easy clap for you, boy. That is not gonna win unless you have the nuts. But I get to see. That's why this deck is so busted. Hello, bald man. Oh, we off the screen. Okay. Oh, come on. What's up, Bill? Bill Cosby plays. That's an awesome name. I just read that. What you playing over here? White Tiger. I'm dying. How many Joe Mama jokes you get? Honestly, not that many. I haven't gotten hit with the Joe Mama too much. You gotta get sneaky though. You gotta get creative. You can't just come out the gate with like a basic ass Joe Mama joke. You gotta get it in there to the point where like I don't see it coming, and then like fucking hit me with it. All right. He's dropping this over here. Can I just? Yeah. Made a discard move, destroy last. I have been working on this brew that you see right here. I'm liking it, man. It's pretty damn good. Like, you can send that over there. Then it'll send them over there. We don't care. And then my best cards are in destroy. What's your collection level? Are you like how I guess how new are you to the game? Is what I'm honestly asking. I mean, if you have it, like, wait, why did he snap? Oh, I know why he snapped. He's gonna play Rock Slide or something. My best card. Oh, variants. I gotta look at my variants. I'm like, oh, there's some busted cards outside of Destroy. And then again, nah, Destroy has been getting DLC. What's happening right now? Still lost. Get fucked. This deck feels so good. It just feels. I haven't got to use the vision yet, but like it just feels so good. I have the best Magneto variant, so that's good. Which one do you have? God dang. It feels so well rounded. Like I'm never afraid of any. There's like very few matchups that I'm like, white. Oh yeah, I've seen that shit. I just got the white Mr. Sinister, the London one. I like that Magneto and the Magneto that has the onslaught in the background with him with the suit. That shit's dope. Ooh. I'm actually surprised they don't have a white Deadpool.
If you're running around saying that queer rights don't need to be fought for anymore.
Hold on, let me see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say right now.
Yeah, especially
Saw that Meg.
like 200.
Especially right now.
Yeah, dude, look at
trans anti.
I don't think I have that.
Way more. Way
yeah,
more than 200.
Oh,
It's
wow.
close to 400 now.
Holy.
Way more.
My
Yeah,
Magneto.
this year has been.
Oh yeah, that's the fucking one that I have. That's literally the one that I have.
No, this year is well over 3.
This shit is
Editing
gonna be
Aerodonk here.
spicy.
I hadn't looked at the statistic in a while. It's actually at 543 as of recording. If you want more specific details, look up translegislation.com. They track anti-trans bills in the US.
Finn did an amazing video about one of these bills. if you're Canadian and you want to help,
I'm curious to see what this is gonna look like once it gets
Bury the lead. The whole point of
once it gets
Jubilee today.
what's the word?
Other
They can upgrade it.
than
Can think.
is
But that white Magneto is sick though.
is that Jubilee is,
All right.
is particularly upset
We've done the testing.
and trans people.
Oh no, I want to test the vision out before we hit
that's their Kevin
Conquest.
Hart and Dwayne Johnson. That's their Dinka people in Asita Danka. That's their white people in SPF 80 sunscreen.
Let's jump into.
Yeah, let's just jump into it. I just had to say something real quick. I'll start going Devil. I'm sorry.
Hey, Turb, it's me. The longer you spend, the more you're in pain, so it's good for me.
Alright, so I've been trying to pay attention to this video and play at the same time. But I'm gonna be a little mean. These people are like I'm not gonna these people are racist. This shit's racist. Like that. There's no it's not even like funny. It's just I don't know. I know some people are like of the mindset of like, oh, you can't be racist to white people. You can be racist to anybody. You can be racist to anybody. You don't. That's not like a exclusive to a certain group thing. Like, and this shit is kind of. It's like cringe. I like listening to the Jubilee stuff. I think that they're flawed. Obviously, like they fuck stuff up. But like I was hoping that to listen to a video that actually had some kind of critique, which that's being too mean. I'll pull it back. He does have a critique. It's just. It's interwoven in some like just crazy racism. It's just like it seems unnecessary. It's like, why? I don't know, man. That shit's cringe. It's cringe. What's cringe is, oh my god. I haven't dropped the black cat. I have this. I'm probably gonna try to turn the game off prematurely. With 4. So we're dropping the game on turn 6. If I storm right, put someone there. We get a plus here.
Aid my hand.
I'm hoping. Cosmo. Okay. I have a feeling I know what I'm going to draw. Oh, I did not draw it. Okay. Where are you putting what? And I'm not on the play. I don't have priority. That fucking sucks. I'll look up another video because that, dude, that's just, it's just racist. It's literally, it's like, hey, what's funny? Just racism. All right. You play Cyclops. Jesus fucking Christ. Misty Knight 2. Dog. Please. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this? On 5, so that's a 3, 4. So and he gets the minus. That is that's rough. That's that sucks. Okay, let's think. I think I can do this though. That's only. Yeah, I think I can do this. Bam, bam. And then on my turn, I turn that off and possibly play Jeff over there. I don't know if that will be enough because that's a beefy Cyclops. Yeah, no, that won't be enough. So I'll have to. I guess Jeff will have to go mid, and I'll turn this off. Yikes, dude. Ooh, that changes things. That changes things. I could play Destroyer now. I could play Destroyer on right. Win right lane. Yeah. No, I can't. Oh my god, I forgot. I fucking. Oh man, that's rough. Okay, I could play Destroyer left. And that would blow them up. Yo, I got it. It's like, I feel like did you ever play those Yu-Gi-Oh the Yu-Gi-Oh fuck, what are they called? Ooh, that's tough. It's like those Yu-Gi-Oh puzzles from the fucking game. Dude, okay. He just dropped him. If I play nothing, I get 7. I go to 30. If he plays nothing... No, he only needs to play... he can play 5 mana worth of stuff and still be good. Wait, does it only hit me once? So I can tie and just in case, right? Fuck, no. There was no way around that. This is a pretty good energy deck. We seem to have like a lot of I wonder if it was good or if it was the fact that he had limbo that 7th turn, because if the game had ended on 6, I don't know. I still didn't get to choose vision. I want to see what vision feels like in this deck. I need to see it. I need it. All right. What up, mid mecha? That's the best deck right now, that energy deck. I feel like I thought Iron Patriot was like, been here lurking for a while. Hey, what up? Thanks for lurking. I thought Iron Patriot was like fucking top shelf, or maybe Iron Patriot is like top meta in specifically Conquest. Maybe I don't. Is there a separate tier list for Conquest? And yikes, I don't like that. All right, we'll see. I guess there is. I know I normally... Where is it? I guess it only shows you afterwards? I wonder why. It seems weird. Oh. There you go. Alright. That deck seems quite strong. I want to look at that stat afterwards so I can go back and look at that match history and look at that deck. Ooh. Sure. I hate trying to play the guessing game of like, what is my opponent playing on turn with like fucking Angela on 2. Just like, this could be anything. This could be like from some Loki shit. Iron Patriot's up there, but that deck was the best deck that transitioned with Mobius. That makes sense, yeah. It's funny because Sure Kitty is also S tier. I remember that was like a whole like debate. Fuck yeah. Okay, we got the Wombo combo, but we don't have... we can protect our Hulk, hopefully. Maybe. Because this deck seems all over the place. He's got like fucking Electra, Kazar. What is this deck, dude? It's just like a bunch of 1-drops on like Angela and Kazar. Alright, whatever. We're okay with this. I get to see where he plays. I'm gonna snap before he plays so that he doesn't realize he's absolutely fucked and cooked right now. But that's what we want. Ooh. What you play over? Captain America. guess I could just play him, right? Is that going to be enough? That's what? That's 12 plus 10, 22. So 29? I don't think that's going to be enough. Ooh. And then Cap gives, so he's dropping 5 power, so that's 16. Oh, wait. Couldn't I just win that with that? Unless he hits me with the... Well, I'll be on the play. Yeah, I got it.
Assemble.
I too am fellow black man. That's the reason I stayed. That video was interesting. I can keep watching it. It's just... That shit's racist, man. It's a tough watch because I'm like, I'll keep watching it. I like talking about like sensitive topics, but I want to talk about the sensitive topic. It's a little jarring to be listening to some black dude just like fucking racial slur, like one after another. I'm just like, damn, dog, like chill. Can we chill? I'll go back to it. Hold on. Where were we? That's where we were. Okay. Give me a second. Let me try to fucking cheese this win out if I even can. I don't even... That's that. I play that there. He can't kill this, but it's really close. That's close. Fuck. God damn it. Was there a better way I could have played that? Let me...
If you're Canadian...
Oh, let me back up here.
300.
Editing Aeronock here. 143 as of recording. If you want more specific...
I will try not to get triggered by the racism.
Legislation.com, they track anti-trans bills in the US.
Finn did an amazing video about one of these bills. If you're Canadian and you want to help with one of these bills...
Yeah, I guess we're gonna bury the lead.
Bro, we just lost to Captain America. Let's not talk about. We're gonna collect our rewards. See, look at the dog. Look at it's a cute dog. Look at that's the cute dog. Don't worry about what's blurred behind there. That's a cute dog right there on screen. Look at him. He barks. He's like he's an astronaut.
There are white people in SPF 80 sunscreen.
Let's jump into.
All right, I'm gonna play some Iron Patriot.
Say something real quick.
I want to play some Conquest tonight, but
Devil, I'm sorry.
Hey, Turb, it's me. The longer you spend, the more you're in pain, so it's good for me.
fair enough.
I'm gonna be in hell for the next 8 years, but any pain is better than this. Any pain is better than watching a black man with dreads degrade black people. Anything is better. Anything is better than this. Lucifer.
Fucking icebox.
Let me jump in real quick. No disrespect, but racism exists, and I have to acknowledge it.
Okay, we got one dude.
That dude's at least saying something okay.
That's my favorite little milk dud. That's my boy. Milk duddy duddy. Milk duddy dee. Milk D duddy. Milk D duddy dud.
Slavery affected my family.
Yeah, I mean, that's just evident in my last name, King. I mean, that's the brand of the slave owner that put that name on my family all those years ago, and I'm still wearing it.
I want to stop it here and say that's a very interesting thing to say in comparison to African and Black American struggles. Because my last name was a forced thing too, because when we were immigrating here, they kind of forced us to do a little last name, and we don't really do last names, so we went under the moniker of Dang. But Dang isn't my actual last name, and
This deck, I think he's gonna outpace me, but we'll see.
At least in my little village, Dang is just where I come from. It's a reference to the Dinka tribe. Even other people in my tribe would reference to me in our mother tongue, saying son of Million.
I think like names are such an important thing to understand. Like
That's something that I grew up with too. My parents are from the Virgin Islands, and that's like a term where when somebody has a kid, it's not just hey that's the kid or like that's Sally, that's Sue. It's like that's Sue for Mary. They have this weird thing where they talk about the kid, and they always phrase the kid for the parent. That always felt weird to me. That always was just like, it's a little cringe. Kids aren't for. I don't know. The phrasing on that was always just wild to me. I was like, what? Why are we doing that? Ooh, Dessa spicy meatball. That's a good, nice meatball right there. We love to see it. You got that nice clean split. I hate this deck. I hate all the people that play this deck. You don't deserve, and you get to double destroy on the X-23. This is just. This is why we can't have nice things. This right here is why we can't have nice fucking things. God fucking damn. Alright, I think this is a sign from the gods that I need to just play.
Regions and like what that means for who you are.
I need to just play Conquest.
Now, right?
I'm over it. I'm tired of playing against this random ass shit.
The effect of British colonialism on names is definitely.
Let's get some Infinity tickets.
That's not at all the same thing as this, but it is a different way that, like, in the same way that you were experiencing a different effect of, like, white supremacist thinking around names, where it's like, oh, you gotta fit into a Western naming scheme, and it's gotta be spelt in a way that makes sense for an Anglophone speaker. Where we see this with
I don't think you
names, right? Because usually
I don't think that's the case. I would hope that when people,
West, you have to put it after,
I think Asian people do this a lot, where like they'll come over and then they have like. They'll have like their actual name, and then they'll have like this fucking made up name that their parents just told them to use, and I think that shit's kind of cringe. Like, just tell people your name. Don't be ashamed of your name. Like, yeah, people are gonna struggle to figure out. Like, my name's fucking weird. Like, people would butcher my name all the time, and I remember as a kid I used to hate that, but then as I got older I was just like, oh well. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. To me, anyway.
Because there's that dominant idea of like
Billy.
No, though. I was talking to my partner about this though, and my partner has a Spanish first name and a French last name. And them being a Black American have a very different experience with.
Where do we drop the storm?
So them having that last name is like a reminder of oppression to them. So they were thinking of like removing the name and doing an X, like Malcolm X did.
You seen it? Yeah.
Reading that, they draw an inspiration for the way Malcolm X kind of got rid of all his colonial ties, especially in the usage of names. And I didn't really know how to feel about that because that's like kind of a colloquial. And I didn't really know how to feel about that because that's kind of a colonial relinquishment of Black oppression, you know what I mean? And to me, I didn't get that same experience.
Saber,
like I'm African, and I haven't really experienced that. And
hey, we might be able to try this out finally.
Racism that Black people who have actually been living here during history and right after chattel slavery, that just I don't experience.
Damn. Thinking about
like if
this.
They had this conversation very open and honest, then they would also actually come to like an epiphany of some sort.
He's gonna play something left. Like
you're oppressed. Well, this is how oppression has fit into my life, and these are the differences between them.
Do I just drop the Ghost Rider here, or do I hold on to it?
But the way that this video pits them against,
I have to.
Disallows that.
I have to push for that play.
Instead, it's
I think
because I learned when I did that with my partner.
It has never stopped. So there is no post. What my great-grandparents were teaching my grandparents, who taught my mother, who taught me, came from what they learned through slavery. So there's a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity, a fear of society, a fear of law enforcement. So slavery is made.
He's playing Destroy. So what are the odds that he hits me with that clean?
Bro, my boy's base. Shout out Milk Dud, fine boom, Milk Dud. And this is actually drawn from like what we're gonna talk about in like a week and a half in the next video essay. Like race kind of alienates you and kind of predisposes you to fit like a certain mold. Like this is
If I hit,
this is LeBron.
if I drop the vision,
This is Michael Jordan. This is Obama. These are the good black men. And then when you don't connect with those figures, it's like, oh, you're not connecting with those figures? This isn't you? Well,
protect our boys.
you're not black. And this way of thinking goes into respectability politics.
Ooh, did we hit him? Ooh.
And how you're supposed to perform in society. Definitely racialized. Like,
Please don't be anything crazy.
I'm very happy when I say this, but like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
don't wanna
Holy shit, that was scary.
the reality is that like part of the thing that we have to struggle with is
Like-
the box that is white women. You have a specific set of
Yeah, I was gonna say he's just gonna retreat because I literally can play nothing and win. Like,
in the trans space.
Ooh.
Is that it isn't acknowledged.
that's part of the reason I love this deck, though. It's like
Experience and existence
destroy decks
having to deal
get
with
absolutely obliterated with this deck. It's like you don't get to do anything. I shut you down with armor, I shut you down with Cosmo, shut you down with
you know,
Professor X.
that's how you
Nice.
get fucking
I
perpetuated.
still don't know how I feel about Vision.
Racism in queer space.
The Hobgoblin was pretty good.
Recognizing that like it's not just one or the other, it's both interplaying with each other that create that social expectation.
And it's wild because Jubilee is giving us very nuanced conversations right now. Like, when is it going to pivot? You know, like, there's always a hard pivot.
We paused at the beginning for a reason.
This is a very fun conquest deck.
I think
Thank you.
it's worth,
I appreciate
it's worth
it.
saying that like the people that
Ooh, and we have the Vormir,
interesting that they would
and we have the discard
present
with the Ghost Rider
someone
Black Cat.
say
Okay,
racism
not too bad.
doesn't
Not
exist
too
as
bad.
the
Not
first
too
thing
shabby.
in the video. Jubilee does this thing where they act like
might.
presentation of information is agnostic in and of itself. That their framing and the order that things
No. Okay.
are not in and of themselves political.
I can storm it.
Statements.
Yeah, I can storm
It's like
Ghost Rider,
pretending,
right?
like,
And
you
probably
shouldn't be mad
that should be
at
enough
X
to.
and Y director for doing
Unless he's got like
things
fucking.
on camera because they're just sexy and on camera. And the director doesn't have any control of that, but
Alright,
the director
alright,
is
see
choosing
that,
to present
see
them in
that.
a certain way, but choosing how they're presented to specifically accentuate, objectify, and sexualize. And in this case, what I think this video is doing is presenting
That Sabretooth was just
racism as
a.
debatable by using a black person to say it.
He was what,
Putting them against
4?
each other is wild in the context of like this framing. Like between black people,
Am I
these
crazy?
conversations
Is it-
in the real
Yeah,
world get
okay.
infinitely nuanced.
So-
and people actually kind of learn from them, and they're way more productive.
Damn.
It really the frame in the box. Because black people have conversations like this all the time, but the way they're rating it and they're rating the degrees and framing it in a way that combats each other instead of the
okay.
system of white
He
supremacy,
committed to that
that's
lane.
where the issue comes with. And the
For 7, and we have 2 more turns, so
actors
add 4.
actors being
So we'll tie ultimately.
white people, but you know, like we said, in Africa,
I mean, if we're tying,
in parts of Africa and in the West, there's different sorts of racism.
I think for me, growing up in Los Angeles, California in the
we're
early
tying.
1960s,
So I see how my boy Milk Dud is so good with understanding the
boy
intricacies of
Milk Dud.
racism with cops specifically, because that boy from LA, the police are just
fuck.
the best there. They don't have the best.
If I drop Conquest left, or if I drop Cosmo
a lot
left,
of groups talking about
and then
that, like maybe
play the Destroyer left,
So obviously, when they bring people from different regions, where
that gives Sunspot some power, but not enough to
they're gonna be
really
talking about their methods
swing.
that they see in.
I'm gonna drop Ghost Rider mid.
But the way that
I get to put the free 9 power there. I get a plus there.
tandem with white supremacy.
Worst case scenario, he wins left, but we tie here, and I have such a
know what I mean?
lead in mid
Now
that
the word racism
there's
is
not
kinda
much he
being
can do.
watered down in its nuances and not being expounded upon, and it's being attacked and it's being talked about in a very weird way.
Again, it's that framing thing.
Yo.
Framing it.
Yo.
They aren't part of the
Okay.
creation of the meaning of the video. It's just a conversation, but it's like, what you chose who's gonna be.
I got him.
Presented as the
Ladies and gentlemen,
versus, like even just the use of the word
we got 'em.
versus is telling.
come up off them 4 cubes. I'm gonna need those cubes. Yeah, he rich.
Very sad.
Oh man.
Back a couple
1 cube, that's fair.
generations, and then
I was about to shut down that Artem Zola play.
there's no record. It's like, you know, my family has completely been erased. In that same point too, in the time that we've been here, we've created a incredible culture, and we have so many things to be proud of. And I always reframe the narrative myself, and I speak of my ancestors that were enslaved as, you know, doctors and healers, and it's like, you know, we were taken because we were talented.
No, but I really just want to clap for him one time. Because besides how patronizing this is, he's doing really well and he's trying.
I think what's valuable is like, I don't judge the people who go on here and try to use the space to say something valuable. I think that's an important point that we should make like right now. Is that we're not judging the people who are participating in these conversations inherently. We're probably gonna judge some of them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
And if you ever come in here again with a goddamn opinion, I will shove it so far up your ass, you'll never see the light of day again.
But
Lily Jack, what's up?
But I think
how's it going?
It's worth noting that like what our, I guess, issue with Jubilee.
Oh, he just left.
How
He couldn't deal.
do this central.
This is the problem with destroy decks. They're kind of fragile. Like I say that being very frustrated with it.
Someone debating
Pretty well, by the way. Thanks for asking. Of course, welcome. I think you're my first. You're my first chatter from Kick.
Of whether or not race
That is the crown. You get to
specifically
put that on your head.
Implicates a specific type of black person as being in conflict.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Kick was even gonna work because the last time I tried to stream there, it was so choppy.
Are
But
really healthy, and I feel like if this video, like you said, wasn't framed in this kind of way, they would be.
It is a lot of fun.
Nuanced
my
conversations and healthier conversations than they do now. Because when I have conversations with my friends,
And getting into this game, any tips you got for me?
differently, right? Because a lot of conversations
Let's see.
buzzwords, right? To
I don't. I'll go to the shop after I'm done with this, and I'll show you some stuff to stay away from. Because there's some stuff that like, it's not a scam. It's just one of those things where it's like, you don't need to waste resources on this because it's a way for the game to siphon resources that you're going to need down the line. I will show you what you don't need to ever waste gold or anything else on in a second. But that would be my best tip for like a new player for this game. The good news from the old players to you playing is back then our like card acquisition sucked. Now for you guys who are starting off, it's awesome. Like you guys get so much stuff that I wish we had. But yeah, I'll pull to that as soon as I'm done kicking ETH921's ass.
normal people to this point has co-opted like a lot of ways.
I guess I can play Cosmo here.
Anti-white
and shut down
racism
any
and things like
destruction
that. I
he's
can't
probably
really
gonna do.
say what to do in front of my friends and expect them to know what that means because they haven't read the book and they haven't put in the work, just like most of society has.
Oh, this motherfucker!
The suburbs has better housing. They're like, you live in the suburbs, bruh. I live in a townhouse.
That's just not the same thing. Like,
there's a suburb like 10 or like 20-minute drive away from me. Sure.
This motherfucker's about to drop Galactus.
This is hell.
I can feel it.
And
how's the overall game? Do you recommend it or not? I absolutely do recommend this game. There's definitely some microtransaction like shenanigans. There's definitely some like once you get to what they call pool 3, and I'll explain all that stuff for you in a second. But once you get to pool 3, the game definitely takes a shift where it's like this kind of feel. He didn't play Galactus. Wow. The game definitely hits a point where it starts feeling like this is kind of rough on costing a lot of money to like be able to keep up. I took a small break from playing and then came back to it. I think I don't have like 3 cards in my whole collection. I'm missing like 3 of them. But yeah. Okay, let me see here. Let me see. We've got Jeff, our lovable Jeff. If I play, ooh, check this shit out. I'm so good. Unless he drops Galactus right now. Wait, he can't. He doesn't have the power to drop. Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy to drop Galactus. This is like the best conquest deck I've ever built. Like, this is just so goddamn good. Mm-hmm. Yep. This is the part where you retreat now, my friend. Sure, of course. I wish that I had that. Am I new to streaming? Not really. Yeah, I would. This is so like one-sided. I'm gonna put homie over here to guarantee that. Yeah, there. I was like, you should just retreat, dog. Like, you have no way of winning. But no, not really. I'm missing mini stuffs. Like what? I know it's been a while since I've streamed. I took a very, very long break from streaming. I think I have some of my alerts and whatnot on. Now that you say that, I'm worried that they're not working because I see the events thing, but hold on, let me test it. I put like logo, banner, panels, much more. It's attractive things to grow your channel. I could definitely do for a bit more brand visibility. I think is the what's the word? The jargon. I could probably do it a little bit more. I'll tell you what. I'll put. There we go. It's not that big. That's a fucking tiny ass logo, but I'll throw it on there. Yeah. So back in the day, I'm an old head. I'm an old head streamer. I started streaming. God, I think I started streaming on Twitch in 20.
Enough said, bub.
Must be nice. I started streaming on Twitch in 20. I think it would have been 2013, somewhere in there. Yeah. Freelancer create design for streamers to help streamers by working under their budget to grow the community. Oh, cool. But yeah, I started streaming back in 2013 on Twitch. Grew a completely separate channel. We did like YouTube videos, and then I would also stream like big stuff. But it was mostly like video, like it was mostly like gaming news. So we'd make like gaming news. We'd go to conventions, and I'd talk to developers and stuff, and it was like very much like, not to like be too pretentious, but it was like Rooster Teeth-esque like size of or style of video content that we would make back then. But then we kind of stopped. Some of the guys moved away, and then I stopped streaming for a really long time, and then I've been kind of dabbling here and there. Would you like a now running birthday discount until 20th September? Would you like to connect on Discord for a conversation? I'd love to share some of my ideas and recent artwork with you. Sure. I don't think I have. Let me check. I think I might have my Discord. Cheat. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me not get obliterated. Ooh. I was hoping I'd have a turn. But that does prevent the Arnim Zola play.
Enough said, bub.
Oh, that's amazing. Glad to see you now again. Yeah, it's been nice getting back into the swing of things. Alright, so no Arnim Zola play. We have Floating Jeff. And it's a turn for Daredevil. I think that Daredevil is going to put in some work. Okay. God, dude. I'm trying to control a destroy deck, and it's so difficult. Okay. That might work. That might work. Depending on what he plays and where. What you gonna play? We took your Arnim Zola play away. He's probably gonna play something to pop these Wolverines. Yeah, I think I have my Discord. Can we give me 1 second? I thought that I had the link in the bot, but I think it's an old link. So I'll get a new one for you. Alright, so you're dropping Carnage. Bucky. That's a lot of power. Is this my first retreat?
Opponent snap.
This might be my first retreat. Because I don't think I can compete with that. If I put 6 over here, that only ties. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Here's your 2 cubes. Alright,
Escape.
I want to put it into the bot to make sure it's, so I don't have to do this later. It probably is the correct one in the bot, and I just didn't believe it. Who is this? Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. I do think I don't like the fact that this has taken so long. Like, I would have liked to kind of won this out early, but I got my combo, which that's nice. Alright, let me... Doop. Doop. Okay. I'll just do that. Alright, do that. Copy. Where's my bot? I'll keep playing the video.
A hood. These white people outside in Edmonton, Alberta, understand.
Where's my bot? There it is.
Action sensationalized thing of Hollywood, where like niggas are hopping out of helicopters, shooting AKs, putting a fucking red beam on their block, all for a gram of weed. You know, it's not like that here. That's not what it is. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not Battlefield 3 out here. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing a Tom Cruise stunt out of a yacht just to enter my trap house. I'm sorry, I'm not in the bando. And it's patronizing how in Western frames...
If you type exclamation Discord, it should pop up now.
No, this is not my experience. This is actually my experience. And when I actually talk about that experience, I shut up because it's not the sensationalized or co-opted image of it. So sometimes I have to, like, you know, skirt around frames in order to get my...
Alright, he's got a Bucky that's not going to be able to get destroyed. We got...
Yeah, and I think it's important to say that, like, we're not...
A Storm,
conversations are bad.
Daredevil...
We're saying this company is creating a product off of sensationalizing marginalized people and framing the conversations in a certain way which presents an ideological bent they don't want the audience to acknowledge exists.
Okay.
It didn't affect my family, but we did suffer a different type of slavery back.
Valkyrie, what's up?
Like,
can you text your Discord username in chat?
A massacre of Bamileke.
Sure.
More than
give me a second though.
My people, because we didn't want to.
How you doing? How you doing, Valkyrie?
To the French culture, but it's still nothing compared to what you guys' ancestor like been through. You know.
I wouldn't want to minimize that pain, though. That 300,000 people were killed because they would not conform.
I can trick him on that, but I don't know if that's going to be good enough to win.
Painful and hurtful as the trauma that we suffered here in America.
This is tough.
That's how you have conversations. When a dude's like, oh, maybe my impression is not like, no, reaffirm them, because all experience of anti-blackness are fucking negative, so reaffirm it.
And it's not about who gets it worse.
This might be bad.
This
is gonna be a tough one, unless I top deck like fucking.
And the value
yikes,
of having real conversations about this stuff, and I do like what they're doing here, is that they are.
I don't have the out.
W
stream.
Pain,
thank you.
It's coming from the same system.
And I could feel the pivot coming. Like the minute those people sat down,
who is this?
I felt the
Venom.
coming. It's like a Kobe turnover when he got it back to the bucket. Like, you know he go,
Deathlock,
you know the number gonna spin.
Carnage.
It's just a matter of when. Like if they just stayed with that interaction with like those 3 people, like this would have been an A+ video.
This is the best that I think I can do on this turn.
If it just stopped there with these two, that
we also had our own
Discord.
Type of slavery. We had apartheid at the time.
Lizana? Am I pronouncing that right?
To just have South Africa, Namibia, and I think other countries where we could only just speak Dutch. It's somehow still happening even now. There's like a place in South Africa where It's called Orania, you know, and it's just Dutch people there. No black person is even allowed there.
Can I get a...
Somehow feel that oppression.
I didn't even know that. Orania. How do I pronounce that? I gotta search that up later.
You can't play anything left. I win left. But I don't have enough power to win.
To an extremely tiny white minority was
right
huge.
either.
It was close to 80% at several points in history. Depends which period of the 1900s we're talking.
Why are we... This is the hardest first conquest match I've ever played. This is ridiculous. Jesus. Hold on. That's so fucking crazy.
When he visited South Africa, he was showing me photos of these.
It's like the most back and forth conquest. Normally the first conquest match is just like quickly, easy, no problem, one person wins.
But like as he drove past
holy
the
shit,
other side of it, it was fucking atrocious. The infrastructure on the two sides of South Africa, you could literally see how they colonially built these systems to be.
Did they change that?
Towards the black population.
No shot.
Factory towards the white population.
They did.
Look at that video.
But it's nothing compared to what your ancestral history, you know, has.
That's my Discord name.
Somehow
for those of you that are asking.
Forgiven it, even though you haven't forgotten it.
But no, I have not forgiven, because it's a system that's still going on. And from what I'm hearing from you guys, there's a system that's still going on in Africa as well, and it's a war on us.
Pan-Africanism.
I can sympathize with somebody who feels that way, who can... I don't know if you guys are listening to the video as well. I'm trying to multitask. I can sympathize with somebody that feels that way, but like... I put it in there. I put it in chat. Is it not showing there for Kick? Is Kick not working? Is it only relay? It is read only. Okay, give me 1 second. I thought that the bot would handle it, but it didn't. Okay. We might be able to use TVA to our advantage. We might be able to schmaz our way to a win here. I'm going to go ahead and Aunt Mary. He doesn't have a way to turn TVA off. I know. Now, if I'm super lucky... Ooh. If I'm really lucky, I can get the Ghost Rider.
Time's up.
Please! That's not Ghost Rider, goddamn. He snapped? What 4-drop does he have that has him this confident? Is he gonna like Nova and then like Deathlock? That's the only thing that I can think he would do. Fuck it. I don't want to risk it.
Wind.
He's literally Nova and Deathlocking. It's like I can Bucky, Carnage. I would have won. Fuck. The greed. Oh well, it's okay. These things are fine. Can I change this to Kick? No, I have to go to Kick. Give me a second. Hopefully it doesn't autoplay. Don't you do it! Don't you dare do it! Okay, it did. That's good. Alright.
Let's go!
So let's talk about how the fucking start of the video frames that conversation as them debating whether or not racism happens. And then when we actually get to the conversation, they're fucking talking about like systems of oppression that exist in both places. It's again sensationalized framing that like isn't accurate to what's being said or what marginalized people think.
And I don't want to take anything away from these people because you can unpack systems of racism in your own way in in a million different ways, you know. Like that white guy that sped past me in a car and screamed the N-word. I could be like, hey, that guy was hella racist, and that's just irrefutable. But racism as a social concept is so ingrained in society that it works in tandem with political actors who carry out that.
We got him, boys. We got him. We got him.
Jobs that carry out ideas of racism.
Holy shit, the fucking grind to beat this guy. Jesus Christ.
And this question saying, is racism the main cause
Gets a
of
fist
poverty among black people in America? That question is infinitely nuanced in tandem.
All right, let me get my Discord information going.
Of the time, in tandem with the policies at the time, in tandem with anti-blackness at the time. It's not really the same across America. But yes, racism is the problem. It just worked very differently. And I feel like they're gonna try to spin everyone's different ideas of black poverty and pit them against each other. Like, no, this person thinks this person thinks like this. It's a way to stagnate progress. It's like, let's just say it's from white supremacy and dead it there. And this question plays into the apologetics of it all, of like the internalization of, I guess, playing into a system that doesn't like you. You know, this is literally just white apologetics. And this affects a lot of people, a lot of marginalized people, like me. When I went into uni, I was like, well, the bounds of racism didn't affect me all the way up to here, so guess what? I just gotta keep pushing. I can go with my own intellect. I can go with my own, myself. I can.
Sorry, Kick sent me an email verification. I gotta
like Mike Tyson.
do that real quick.
I'm dropped out.
Sorry.
So racism works in intricate ways, and thinking that it's
wild that I'm able to stream there.
Quote of it all.
But when I need to log in now, it's like, hey,
essentially just
you need to verify that you're real. I'm like, I'm already streaming to an account. Like, if I was fake, then you have fucked up a long time ago.
Again, just framing this question, it's too simplified because it's like, well,
okay.
I would say that the system of white supremacy in America is the primary cause of.
Let me go through some of the early game stuff that I was talking about.
In America. But to understand that requires
fucking grindy ass 7-round
the period of time
conquest one
laws that were put in place. C, Jim Crow era policies. D, the policies that were discriminatory in the North that was still preying off of black labor, even if they weren't slaves. And then you need to understand shit like, then you have to understand like every single time that black wealth was ever built up, the fucking way that it was burned to the ground, whether you have, you know, Black Wall Street.
Don't really use Instagram.
There's literally a city in Alberta
for
that where we.
I have an Instagram, but my Instagram is because I keep it separate from stream stuff.
Way more open back in the 1970s, and they were accepting everybody, right, including disenfranchised black people that wanted a place to stay. And then they got very successful in these places, and guess what? They got kicked the fuck out. They faced racism from a lack of funding. They faced racism from the Edmonton and Calgary areas because they were predominantly white and these places were black. My little sisters literally learned this in class before I did. It's in the curriculum now, thank God. But I didn't learn that in school. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I feel like I missed something. Sorry, I'm gonna back up real quick.
Labor, even if they weren't slaves.
Oh, I saw. Okay.
There's literally a city in Alberta where we live that was like burnt to the ground because immigration reforms.
Alright, so here's the thing: when you first start playing this game, you're gonna get access to this little shop over here. This thing is gonna pop up, and then there's gonna be all kinds of stuff in here, and you're like, oh my god, they're so cool. Look at all these cool variants and stuff. This is amazing. Don't buy any of this shit. When you're first starting off, your goal, you should never spend gold on variants. Some of the variants are really cool. The only time I guess it's okay to spend gold on variants is if you're absolutely fine with parting with whatever the cost, like the pocket cost, like the actual real money cost of that gold is for whatever you want to buy. If you just absolutely have to have that variant and you can afford to do it, sure, go nuts. But I would caution you to not spend any gold on any of this stuff, because you're going to need to spend that gold. And also, this is the other thing: don't ever use these. These are really bad. The conversion rate for your credits to rank or the upgrade, if you do the math, it's not good. Don't do that. What you want to spend your money on or your gold on? My Twitter. Hold on. Do I even have my Twitter account on here? I don't. I do. Yay! Give me 1 second. May I ask why? What are you looking for? Are you just trying to see what I have up as far as like promotional stuff? Oh my god. What do you mean? I don't remember these things. This is so annoying. Every time I want to do something on my computer, it's like, hey bro, we need to verify who you are. You might be someone else. Which is kind of nice. It's actually a nice thing. It's at Just Joe though. Just Joe is spelled the same, and then capital THO. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the shop and its badness. Don't do this. You're gonna need anything that's gonna get you these tokens. Now you're not gonna have tokens when you first start playing, so you need to save your gold so that you might end up having to spend money on this. This is like a speed up thing. Like if you're doing your missions and you're going through your season pass or whatever, you won't have to touch these often. But if you're gonna burn your gold and you want to hurry up and get your, you can show you some of my stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just at Just Joe though. At Just Joe THO. But you'll want these to speed things up, just because there's going to be lulls where you're going to burn through your missions. Like right now, I don't have any missions because I've done them all, and they don't refresh. They refresh every 8 hours. But when you're trying to fucking speed run, be able to get to the point where you can play the game, I'm giving air quotes competitive, because this game, as fun as it is the RNG in it kind of makes it kind of annoying sometimes to look at it as a competitive game. But sometimes you'll want to do that. These refills aren't bad. You can do these from time to time if you're, again, racing. But just remember that all of the money that you're spending on with your gold and credits, it will ultimately be better served if you save them for bundles that give you tokens. Like, these tokens are like that. This is the best way to get what you want. Like, instead of cracking open packs and at LilyJack, my Twitter username, follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I'll shoot you a follow after the stream. These tokens are like the bee's knees of getting things that you actually want. So we're gonna keep climbing. I'm gonna keep listening to our friend Turb.
Way more open back in the 1970s, and they were accepting everybody, right, including disenfranchised black people that wanted a place to stay. And then they got very successful in these places, and guess what? They got kicked the fuck out. They faced racism from a lack of funding. They faced racism from the Edmonton and Calgary area.
What's up, Abigail?
Because they were predominantly white and these places were black. My little sisters literally learned this in class.
Doing all right.
I did.
How are you?
In the curriculum now. Thank God.
Oh no, I didn't mean I started a fucking pub game.
Oh, so is the right agree and the left disagree?
No, it's the people who don't come to the middle that disagree.
My boy Milk Dud, man. My boy Milk, come on, man.
If opportunity is right here, they will give it to people of other race than African American and Africans too. So if there's a job that maybe have math requirement, I feel like they'll pick an Asian person.
No! It was so good, and then it was so not.
yeah, it was on the right track. Then yeah, that just goes to show how racism also plays a role in other groups in the black community too. Like, there is that stereotype.
See, the hypocrisy here is he can admit when they say something racist towards Asian people. He has no problem catching that and being like, "Hey, that's a little sussy wussy." But then this dude will throw all kind of shit like towards white people, and I'm just like, I need you to relax, homie. I'm gonna need you to chill out. Like, that's, how do you not, I don't know. I don't understand how somebody can see that one way, not the other. I think sometimes people put white people on like this pedestal of just like, you can do no harm to them. They're invincible. They feel nothing. It's a little weird to me. Can you text your username in chat? I can't find you. Nah. I mean, can you? I don't know if Kick has this access to this. Hold on, let me check. Let me see. Yeah. Can you not? Goddamn Kick. Why? Why are you missing features? Who did he hit? He hit Destroyer. Fuck. But I'm ahead, so I will put Cosmo right here. Hopefully stop whatever else he was about to play. Hey! Ooh, that feels good. That feels warm. That feels nice and right. There's nothing better than stopping a Loki. That just feels, it's just good. Goddamn bears.
All systems go.
Yum. Get that 5, you know? This is not good though. We're not winning with this. This is, oh, I'm wrong. I lied. We are gonna win with this. Because now we can put him over here. That brings us back to 17. So we're tied. What is he? How many cards does he have in his hand? He has 5 cards in his hand. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Of Eastern Asian people specifically.
And I also think, I think the crucial missing point when we talk about economic disparity, time.
I'll give him credit. That is an Eastern Asian thing. You never see people talk about Thai people this way. People just don't. They don't look at Thai people the same way they look at like Koreans or Chinese or Japanese. It's insane. Like it's weird. Like I don't know what that kind of seems like a little sussy wussy too, in terms of like, that's something that I think is worth pointing out, because that's reflected, I think, in society. Like,
is the most valuable currency, and you're not allowed to take out business loans, you're not allowed to read, you're not allowed to write. You have to first fight to become 3/5 of a citizen, then you got Jim Crow, and then you got everything else. It's like you're now having to buy in at a price so high.
Hopefully it won't be a grind fest like the other game.
Get that back.
That was part of what I was talking about. It's also really worth noting that, like, even in our current lifetimes, an easy example of this is the Irish American.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this is an Irish thing. If people want to get mad at me, they can. But like, because in the middle of the in the 19th century, at a certain point, white supremacy decided you're white.
Yeah.
A lot of that discrimination went away, and suddenly, like, even those groups that have only had like one generation ahead, or even just within that generation.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier too, with the internship thing. Like, I felt this my whole entire life. Literally in some internships, when you apply international, because I was looking at going to law school after my post-grad. Dropped out at this point, so probably not. You have to literally send a head photo at some point.
That's risky, dude. He got to keep his fucking card. Are you kidding me?
Charged.
Or I know for myself as a trans woman,
Must be nice.
If I am perceivably trans, I'm not gonna get hired. But I also want to say it is more likely that I will get hired as a white trans person than a black trans person would be.
It's all in the framing of white man. They want Noah Samson. They don't want Turb. They don't want Eric. They want Noah Samson. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I love you, Noah. I hope you know that.
From a historical standpoint, we start with slavery.
Jesus, dude.
Centuries, generations of stolen labor, like you said. Then we get into Jim Crow, which is just an extension of that. Then we have redlining, we have mass incarceration, we have events like the bombing of Tulsa and Rosewood in Florida, and all these different examples of our wealth being decimated.
Did I not play Jeff?
And I don't say
I'm
that to
not
come
allowed
from
to
a
play Jeff?
defeatist or a victim mindset, but I think if we just have an honest conversation about history and what we've gone through when we've been here, racism is definitely a big part of that.
I don't know if I just played this poorly or...
Y'all need to know that victim mindset isn't real. That's not real. That's not. It's not.
Victim mindset isn't fucking real, but like I think it like
Victim mindset is 100% real. It's absolutely it's like 1,000,000% real. I'm not saying that people aren't victims. I'm not saying that people aren't allowed to voice like when they've been wronged, but holy shit, there's definitely a point where it's just too much. I'm gonna retreat because I don't think I can win this one. Like, it's like something can be good or not bad, but when in excess, it is bad. Anything in excess is bad. That's like a colloquial phrase for years, and for whatever reason, it's almost like people just completely forgot about that. Like you can do anything in excess, and it becomes not good. Like being a victim isn't bad, but like framing everything in your entire life around like, oh no, this bad thing happened to me, and thus, like, that's cringe in my humble opinion.
But let's talk about the way that like as marginalized people we're having to deal with like bullshit things that we know someone's gonna say about us. That guy isn't arguing that victim mindsets are real. What he's doing is trying to avoid a certain
aid my hand.
If he has the random Polaris, he'd be pissed.
Know that like as marginalized video essays who tackle conversations, especially in places where our conversations aren't heard.
I mean, like you and I have had a lot of conversations about this privately. Like we talk a lot about what it. Like,
I actually think this is a prime example
and I've never had the freedom until I made video essays to actually have these conversations
of the destroy or of the vision. All right, we'll see. We'll see which way we want to send him.
Like,
so now we have the Cosmo to shut down whatever play he's going to do here. You don't get a destroy. We shut out the Draken. He can't. Plus this, the best thing he's got is to try to win this lane. And I'm gonna throw Vision out. Hit him with the big snapperoonie. He might retreat right here though. He might not even.
Fear of like if I have these conversations, I have to constrain it in a certain way to make them understand. So in a certain way, you're also policing your own experience, your own internalizations,
and you're policing what you're allowed to say. You're policing. You're like, and it's not an issue.
Yeah, I figured.
I just wanted to because I know you don't mean that, but I just like, hey, actually, we're doing it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That sums it up perfectly though. That we spend so much time fucking carefully dancing around what we can and cannot say.
I think the irony of being this concerned about what you can and cannot say, because I do this all the time, I'm very aware. I try to pick my words very, like, precisely when I'm talking, especially when I'm talking about this kind of stuff. But I think it's just something that's kind of rolled over into the rest of my life. But the irony is like the reason why people do that is because of how harsh they are towards people that say things that they don't like. So it's like, on one hand, they're like, people are policing what they say. Isn't that bad? And then out of the other side of their mouth, they're like absolutely just like piling on people. And I'm just like, you kind of can't have it both ways. You got to treat people. If you're gonna give people or give the advice that hey, people should be able to feel free to say what they want and to express themselves, you kind of also need to like give people the space to actually be able to do that. But if you don't, then like don't be mad when like yeah, like just don't be upset when those people are like not super friendly. I don't know what to tell you. Like, what do you expect? Like, or not, or super cautious around you, or like they're obviously not gonna. I'm about to beat this dude with an orca. I want to make sure that everyone is seeing this. This is a very important moment in my career as a Marvel Snap player. I need everybody to witness what's about to happen to this poor chap. I'm trying to think of where I want to play him. Ooh. What do you got here? Got a Wolverine, a Nova. Let me think. Okay, so your Nova is a -1, and the Wolverine is a 0. Sucks to suck. And then I can throw him over here. Yeah. I already snapped. Come on! Ooh. That's rough. I am locking this poor guy down. He does not get to play. Big... Wait, what? Oh no. Oh no. I guess I still win. I guess it's fine. Unless he drops like fucking like Blue Marvel or some shit out of the blue. That would suck. I didn't think it through. I should have played Orca the turn before. Fuck. No. Oh well, I still win. No, sir. No, not even close. I don't know why you even played that through. You should have retreated and not taken the big 4 loss.
As I grew up in Alberta, the most political conversations that we had, oh, the oil's really high today. Like, oh, the oil's really high today. What's happening in the oil refineries, right? The conversations we have concerning politics and, I guess, governance are so intellectualized in a way that fits... That doesn't allow racism to be talked about. Yeah.
Oh, he
say,
quit.
Thank you to Aronok for letting me talk about this. And like we allowed to talk about this now. Like out there, when I go outside, when I go to my professor, I was not allowed to talk about this. I got a 0 on my essay. So
I know exactly how you feel. Like I'm definitely always nervous with like hitting on certain things. I'm nervous right now that I'm gonna lose marks in some classes that I'm in because I took some pretty directly pro-trans shit into some of my written things, and was very direct about certain things where I was like,
I'm not gonna make an assumption. I'm gonna take her at good faith and say that how she's describing the situation is how she went about it. However, I am gonna say that there are some times where people use this word direct and it's like rude. Like being direct doesn't mean being rude. They're not the same thing. They're not synonymous. Like it honestly annoys me how little tact there is in the world with some people. Some people are in just their own orbit and they don't have an understanding of how their actions or the words that they choose or the words that they say affect the people around them, and it hurts my brain every time I see it because I see it a lot and it's just like, what are you doing? How did you not realize that this is going to end poorly?
I might have criticized both of the classes I took for ignoring trans perspectives. Because those trans relevant.
See, I told you I didn't.
I thought I was gonna be the only one staying. I was gonna be like, oh.
I didn't want to start there. I didn't want to believe that.
As an next
go.
I'm about to be.
I might have criticized. And
this is the thing.
Very direct about certain things where I was like,
very direct is fine.
I might have criticized both of the classes I took for ignoring trans perspectives because those trans perspectives were relevant.
I thought
like like yeah, there's a difference between being direct. You can criticize. There's nothing wrong with that. But especially, I would even say, I would say especially when you're giving critique. The human brain is like, it's like almost, it's normal for a person to struggle taking critique. So I believe in the thought process of mixing critique with some honey. Like, you can't, because if the whole reason you're critiquing something, right, is so that some change happens. That's what you want. That's your goal. Your goal is that, hey, maybe we could do this better, or hey, maybe we shouldn't do this, right? That's the end goal. That's the whole point of you even opening your mouth or writing something down, making a complaint, whatever. The critique is to get to enact change. If you do your critique in a way where there's just no change is going to come from that, people are just going to completely write it off, or you don't use any tact, or like the person doesn't receive it, what was the point of you doing it in the first place? There's like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, you could do it, but it's like screaming into the wind. Why would you even bother doing it if you're not going to do it in a way that's effective? Like, I don't know.
the only one stand. I was gonna be like, oh, I'm about to be like Kanye West, but okay.
All right, let's get that infinity ticket, baby.
No. Unironic agreement for Kanye West is the I had.
What?
I'm about to be like.
I might have criticized both of the classes I took for ignoring trans perspectives because those.
Oh, I played this person before.
I thought I was gonna be the only one stand. I'm about to be like Kanye West, but okay.
No! Unironic agreement for Kanye West.
Did he agree with Kanye West? I don't think he did. He just compared himself to him. What? How did you get that from that?
West is I had go away. I don't care that he made college dropout. I don't care. Get him out. Go away.
There's a lot of things we can use as an excuse to hold us back, to not to reach our potential. It's up to us to look past.
That man's name is Prosper. That's wild.
From Africa, I came here to better my life, my family. I'm the only one here. And since I have been here, there's a lot of bad things that happen to me. There's also a lot of good things that happen to me. Us African or African American, we need to like look past like racism.
And this is what I was talking about, the different levels of oppression in Africa and here. As poor as my family is, I don't have to pay rent right now.
Ooh,
so when my mom
gets
a call from my cousins in Africa and they're like, okay, we need help. I help my cousins because I have a level of privilege that's foreign to them. That doesn't mean I'm the most privileged. It's just because privilege fluctuates in a way.
The way I view privilege is generally that you're not having to deal with a problem. Just because you're not dealing with that problem doesn't mean you're not dealing with other problems. Like, it's recognizing that you're not dealing with it all, really, and the advantages and benefits you get from that. Bringing it back around to hiring bias.
Yes.
Right? If you go to get hired and you don't get hired because you're black, right? You are dealing with an additional problem that's preventing you getting hired. If I try to go
lesion
and I don't get hired because I'm trans, I'm dealing with an additional problem that others, like that cis people, aren't going to have to deal with. But here's the important thing: both of us dealt with a problem, different problems. The cis white dude didn't have to deal with either of those problems.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he is exempt from potentially dealing with a problem.
Yeah, and this framing in a way.
That...
Oh, sorry. You first.
No, go.
I was saying this framing in a way like points at a specific level of Western privilege that we get because we live in a society that's oppressing other countries to protect itself.
Yes.
A neoliberal society.
We are not dealing with the problem of being in a country that is currently under attack from Western powers. That's privilege, right? But it's not like the thing about privilege is it's so invisible because you're not dealing with it. Of course you're not going to be aware of your privilege. You don't experience the problem. And I think maybe sometimes the problem with presenting privilege is presenting it as something you have.
Big Dubsky.
Rather than
I just played this guy earlier too. I think it was on the ladder.
No disrespect, but racism exists, and I have to acknowledge it. And I can't just ignore it, but what I can do is not buy into the system. You know, if I want to do something, let me be the entrepreneur. What I believe happened in the 1960s is that we started looking for equal rights, to be equal with other people. And what we stopped doing, and I heard you talk about Tulsa, we stopped using the black-owned businesses.
Why did we stop using the black-owned businesses? Because they all got bombed by the CIA? Come on, I know. Okay, this
really, dude. That's your fucking like you. It's 2023, and your reasoning for why people stop using the black businesses is that it got bombed by the CIA. My brother, that's probably not what happened. It's probably something from the fact that, now granted, hear me out. It's not like, it's probably my theory is probably something he would agree with and probably makes a little bit more sense. It's probably something more on the fact that those black people were starting from a lower point. So when they decided to make a business, their business did not have the resources to compete with the other businesses that were around. Thus, at the end of the day, consumers are going to do what consumers do. Even if you want to support like your black-owned business or whatever reason, like local business or whatever, at the end of the day, if the service or the product is inferior to something else, and you can get the other thing for cheaper, even their own people would choose that because it's cheaper, like over supporting that business. They might not even have a choice. They may be forced to choose the cheaper product rather than use their business. It's probably something more along like that, and that's why those businesses probably didn't do so well. I'm less inclined to believe that the CIA fucking was out here nuking businesses. Like that's a little tinfoily for me. Ooh, I do have the Black Hat play, and I have the Jeff, so I like this. This is good. This is good. All right, so. Ooh. Oh, no. We solid. We good. I snap. Big snippy snap. You want to just give me the rest of your cubes, man? Come on. I need them cubes. Come on. Hand them over. I need them. I need those cubes. Come on, man. Ooh, that's kind of a problem. I didn't think about this. I may have had a miscalculation. I forgot that I hadn't played on Aunt May's yet. No. Did I just hand over cubes? No.
This is one of those black people that know racism exists, but then tries to endorse in systems of patriarchy. Like these black men are like, oh, but we could do jobs, we could perform the role of the white man, we could be business entrepreneurs.
You buy into neoliberalism, and it fucks your ability to have any sort of real understanding of racism or transphobia or queerphobia.
Damn.
Because you cannot separate capitalism from white supremacy.
Quick experiment. Search up, who did the Nazis take influence from when they were making their policies? You might be a little sad.
The Nazis loved American policies, and the Americans loved hiring Nazis after World War II.
It's a 0.
And as always, everyone has to watch their.
I don't think I'm beating whatever else he plays.
Mandatory viewing. Iowa.
Now, because you gotta understand, the Fair Housing Act in 1968, I'm 5 years old. That's when we could move on the east side of LA.
Kill me!
So what I wanted to do at 8 years old was go to IHOP. I didn't want to go to the Ma and Pa restaurant anymore. I want to go to,
Hey! I was literally right. Literally what I just said. The CIA is not, but he's not going to say anything. He's not going to acknowledge that. He's going to keep his fucking conspiracy theory and just like keep rolling that out. And like,
let's go eat at
come on, dog.
The black dollar is a myth. The black dollar is a myth. The reason why black people don't have as much money in their communal areas is because they have to spend more money because they're impoverished, and there's so much things that they have to buy, and they don't have surpluses of money. So every time they get money, they have to spend the money they own. They can't keep it. They can't.
All I'm gonna say,
This
haven't heard of Vimes' boot theory of economics, which is from Discworld. Vimes lays out how a poor person, when they buy a pair of shoes, has to buy them cheap because they only have so much money. Those shoes don't last very long. If you buy 15 pairs of shoes over 15 years, you actually end up spending way more than if you bought one good pair. But a rich person buys one good pair of boots, last them 15 years, they spend less. It is more expensive to be poor.
There are a lot of successful Black Americans.
I'm thinking about that. Because there is some truth to that. But there's like there's truth to that, but to then I think the extra step that I think that they're taking that I would say is maybe not what I would necessarily agree with is it's like, yeah, sure, the poor person is going to buy the cheaper shoe, but if the poor person is in a place that they can put up with a little bit of a struggle or put up with a little bit of an inconvenience, that can start to level out. So we're talking about shoes, so we'll use shoes now. But if we'll use the shoe analogy. So like we're talking boots. Say for instance I buy a pair of boots, quality pair of boots. Person A buys quality pair of boots because they can afford them. I think I win this one, right? For free? Big dubski for me. Would love to see it. Okay. That pair of boots, say it lasts like 10 years. The person who is poorer than me, maybe they have to go for a couple of months with like not the best shoes. Maybe they're shitty shoes. And if they can't do that, then what he's saying is 100% accurate. But I refuse to believe that every person who's in that position can't do this, because that would again be taking agency away from that person. They do have some decisions to make in this whole thing. If they are in the position where they can kind of put up with that, and then they buy the same pair of boots that I did, they are now in the same position where I was, where now they have the boots for the 15 years. They did have to eat a little shit to get there. It wasn't like it's the same and equal, everything's great and fucking rainbows, butterflies. I'm not saying that. But to then just say like, oh, there's nothing they can do, they have to buy the shit shoe. I don't know if that's like, I don't know if that's the best way to look at that situation. I feel like that robs the poor person of any agency to like better their situation. Like, just kind of, that framing of that just seems kind of, yeah.
There's a lot of millionaires, a lot of, business owners, but they're exceptions for sure for a reason.
People may be asking, this is kind of a thing where I'm reaffirming biases right now. People may be asking, oh, look at Michael Jordan, look at Rihanna, look at Ace.
Nah, those are exceptions.
These, black celebrities that
I would agree with that.
They're upheld for a reason. They're upheld because they fulfill the status quo, the idea that
black people can pull themselves up from their bootstraps, right?
I don't know if
That's why we uplift this 1% of society. Realistically,
I mean, that's not the reason I guess I would look at it.
from birth, gang violence, police violence. If you go into schooling, the percentage of people that come out of black school in junior high, middle school, high school, university, like all of that is so fucking hard, and only like 1% of people make it out there because of systems of racism and capitalism and things like that.
Well, and even if you get through all of that, let's also acknowledge medical bias, bias from banks and things, so it's harder to get started, loan, everything like that, right? There's that bias. Hiring biases, right? Like
easy claps, dude.
50 fucking layers. If you're darker skinned, you're dealing with colorism as well, on top of just the general racism.
Oh wait,
have you heard of all those patronizing stories of the black women who go on X Factor or whatever, and then they get kicked out, they get held on to till the very end, then they get kicked out, then some white people win? That happens all the time, and there's so much dark.
I'm sorry, what? Hold on.
If you're darker skinned, you're dealing with colorism as well, on top of just the general racism.
Have you heard of all those patronizing stories of the black women who go on X Factor or whatever, and then they get kicked out, they get held on to till the very end, then they get kicked out, then some white people win? That happens all the time, and there's so much dark victory.
I might hold on. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying, so I need to listen to this one more time.
Have you heard of all those patronizing stories of the black women who go on X Factor or whatever, and then they get kicked out, they get held on to till the very end, then they get kicked out, then some white people win? That happens all the time, and there's so much dark-skinned black women that don't get their shine. And if you look at women rap,
What does that have to do with anything? I'm lost. Someone help. Maybe I missed it. What? What was the comparison? I don't understand.
First, they're lighter, they're shorter, and they all have a certain image to them. And not to
is he saying that darker skinned people
their music, because Glorilla, I guess 30 to Glorilla, you know, but there is definitely an image being pushed, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
We got the ticket, boys.
To the exception.
And we beat
like I fucking
Shadowverse to get there.
This is great. Like, do you see Lizzo in the most her and Mandalorian with Jack Black?
Okay.
On-screen chemistry off the fucking charts. That was so fucking good. Like, messy writing on that episode in general, but those two together.
Yeah.
I'd watch a whole Star Wars sitcom just about that.
Lizzo's kind of a natural, like, on the screen.
And let's acknowledge that, like, Lizzo is one of the top flautists, but when she went and fucking played the like special like whatever Benjamin's flute is, right? And everybody lost their fucking minds because they could not stand the idea of a fat black woman using something like that. So even if you make it, so you make it through layers and layers and layers and layers of bigotry and biases and overlapping things that we've been talking about, you're still gonna get.
I think that the Lizzo situation or Lizzo conversation, whatever, fuck it, which I'll let me caveat, I think it's kind of stupid. Honestly, like, who cares? Like, who actually cares? But I think I can be a little empathetic with people that sometimes people who share this opinion on things, they hit so hard that the response back is going to be this reverbing, like, it's like if somebody looks at you and somebody does something pretty innocuous, right? Something that's like it's not that big of a deal, but then your response is to punch them in the face. And then when that person like chokes you out or like breaks your arm or like whatever, like they escalate it, you look at them like, I can't believe you did that to me. And that person's looking at you like, well, I can't believe that you just punched me in the face. Why would you do that? It's like, they don't, fuck that. I don't care. I don't care that you just that I punch you in the face. That's not important right now. I can't believe that you escalated the situation. Just like, but you escalated the situation. Not both of them are wrong for doing it, but like the Lizzo thing is like when somebody looks at Lizzo and they're like, this is a healthy woman. This is a healthy body type and everything about that is great. I think that's the I don't want to use the punch in the face analogy now because that's too much. But like that's the first thing that when people hear, they're like, wait a minute, that's not true. That is just wrong. What you are saying is incorrect. Does not compute. Error 404. The brain goes blank. So then when they are like, you're super celebrating this person, and on top of that, you're saying like, it's okay to aspire to this. It's totally fine. You're super healthy. Everything's great. Hunky dory. Big thumbs up. People are going to have a reaction to that because it's just factually incorrect. Then if you back that up as like, no, it is right. And then now you have this reverb thing that I was talking about before where it's just like, it's okay to celebrate Lizzo for her achievements, for her artistry, for her like musical talent. Totally fine. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. You can I even go so far as you can celebrate her for finding happiness in spite of weight or in her body. There's nothing wrong with being happy in your body, but you can't, when you start lying to people and start like spreading some kind of like message that like that's okay and healthy, you're like, don't be surprised when people react a certain way to that. Like it's maybe not the nicest thing, but like just don't lie to people. Be normal. Just tell the truth. You'll be all right. I promise you. I swear.
You're gonna get just horrific racism.
Yeah.
Like look at John Boyega.
I guess I'll say this: there are some racist people. I'm not blanketing all of that with the fact that like, oh, no one's ever been racist to Lizzo. Nah, there's some shitty ass people out there. Like, some absolute trash, garbage, dumpster people out there. But to then lump everybody into that is not a good idea. It's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Like his treatment by Star Wars. Like you can make it and still be treated like shit.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to be on your tipsy topsy house bro behavior. Yeah. Or you're done. Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Aronach here. So originally we recorded both halves as being part of the same video, but we decided to split it up. However, we felt this part of the conversation that occurred later in the recording best fit here, but there isn't really a good connective tissue. For context, next time we're reacting to anti-feminists versus feminists.
Yeah, I want to say even like the title feminist is very sensationalized because it's kind of lost a lot of its meaning in today's world. I want to say that.
And that sucks.
A lot of people that, a lot of men, I want to say men and women too, but in a different kind of punching down way. Men use the term feminist in order to and then go on the most misogynistic tangents you've ever seen, right? That title doesn't really mean anything. Your actions do, and how you dissect patriarchy does.
I'm gonna hit on this, which is that politics are something you do, not something you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you either fucking live in a way that is guided by feminist theory and thought, which that makes you a feminist because you are doing it. You're doing it in every single day with your interactions with other people, with how you talk to other people, with how you approach topics, with your understanding of things. My feminism, the feminism that I subscribe to, which is a intersectional feminism, right? It is a viewpoint that is built up by mostly trans and black writers. For the love of God, go read Bell Hooks.
Bell Hooks.
Just fucking read Bell Hooks.
Bell Hooks.
Read Bell Hooks. You don't even have to read long things. Okay, I'm not even asking you to read the long ones. Go read Feminism, a Transformational Politic. Go read Visionary Feminism. Bell Hooks lays out a couple of really important things in both of those, which is one, if feminism is going to be productive at all, it needs to approach things from an understanding that patriarchy hurts everyone, that feminism has to include not just women but men as well. And while she wasn't talking about trans people in that context, it absolutely has to include trans people. It is not. I'm not going to say that TERFs aren't feminists because I think it's silly to even have that argument. TERFs do not follow a productive political ideology. They are fundamentally fascist in their approach. They are fundamentally pro-white supremacy. And they're pro-patriarchy. And I'm tired of this way of, I would say there's a certain type of feminism.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't want to exclude trans people at all, but to somebody who has like a TERF mindset, I don't know if it's, I don't know if I would say that stems from like a place of white supremacy or a place of fascism. Like, I can understand their I can understand their logic tree and how they got to their opinion. I wouldn't classify their ideals or ideas as fascist or white supremacist. Like, yeah, like I can disagree with someone, but I don't have to take that disagreement to 11. Like, I don't know.
That wants to distance ourselves, like all forms of feminism, from the reality of the strain of white feminism. And white feminism is what TERFs come from, right? Mm-hmm. White feminism is the type of feminism which the suffragettes practiced, where they were fucking racist as shit. Yes, they campaigned for the vote, the white vote. I forgot to include, I want to be very clear, as a disabled and mentally ill trans woman, I want to add in that, like, if your feminism doesn't include deconstructing ableism and saneism, it's not a productive feminism. You can say it's a feminist framework, fine. I don't care for the semantics debate about what isn't feminism. What I care about is...
So this is kind of what I was talking about before, where we have these terms, and then we start broadening it so much that it becomes amorphous and it doesn't make much sense. If you're telling someone that their feminism doesn't count unless they include ableism and I don't remember what the other thing was. What was that she said?
For the semantic, say it's a feminist frameism. If your feminism doesn't include deconstructing ableism and saneism,
yeah, ableism is like both of these things don't have anything to do with feminism. Like they like definitionally they don't have anything to do with feminism. So I don't know. I think that like words have purpose, and when we start interlocking everything in together, it's rough, man. It's tough. It gets really, really hard to like. It gets really hard to follow any kind of conversation because you don't like nothing has any. If everything's connected, everything is connected. Like then. Nothing has a purpose. Nothing has a definition. I don't think you have to have. I don't think ableism has to come up if you're talking about feminism. That doesn't make sense to me. You can just talk about feminism. You can just talk about issues that women have without having to bring up those things. There's nothing inherently wrong with doing that if you want to include that, but now you're stepping into a different space. Like, it's like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like, yeah, like, yeah, it's you're adding so much stuff to something that should be simple and making it way more complicated to the point that it's so complicated that how does someone follow that? That's like, how are you expected to explain that to somebody? Like, I don't know.
It's not a productive feminism. Care for the semantics debate about what is ideology and thought and politic, which is praxis, which doing the theory into the world. What is the form?
I do agree with that. 100% agree with her with that. Like, some people like to spout certain beliefs or ideologies or whatever, but then like you see their day to day and it's like, dog, you're doing the exact opposite of what you tell people to do. That's crazy. Like that's like, it's, and I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but like if you're doing literally nothing or the exact opposite of what you're like, the beliefs or ideals that you're verbally saying, no, that seems, I don't know, that just seems kind of
successfully dismantle white supremacist patriarchal capitalism, because you have to dismantle all of it. If you do not dismantle white supremacy, you will fail to dismantle patriarchy. And this is the point that Bell Hooks really fucking nails on, is that feminism needs to be a struggle in and of itself while also being a part of the greater struggle against these systems.
And there's a little problem on the left with armchair socialism, where basically it's very white supremacist on the left. I feel like a lot of thought leaders are responsible for this too, but it's just as much an audience problem. You guys need to listen to people that are part of these groups. If you think you want to learn, you have to talk to people in those groups, because you might think you're the most progressive person in the world, and hey, you're pushing socialism, but you're in a 3-story house in the suburbs. Your ideological socialism is doing nothing. Sorry, thank you though.
Yeah, that's
voted for Biden.
That's cool, but like your actions don't match.
No, but like I want to be clear about this, because talking about like intersectional analysis and things. As a disabled person, I can't do a lot of in-person activism and shit like I used to do. And I used to do shit like I'd show up for fucking protests, and I would do volunteer things because like praxis isn't just like, oh, I went to a political rally. It's I built community, and in so doing reinforce these ideas of mutual aid and care. Like it's helping your neighbor as much as it is showing up to a protest, as much as it is, local garden and stuff. But as a disabled person, you're going to have some limits and things. It is okay if the only things you can do are through online. To each, according to their ability.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. When I say that your actions need to match that, it's obviously to your ability. Like, not everybody's going to be able to do the same thing. I don't expect the same thing out of person A that I expect out of person B. But you got to do something. You can't do nothing. Like that's kind of just the place where I'm coming from.
And to each according to their need.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that you shouldn't beat yourself up if you're disabled and you can't do things in the way that people say you have to.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I talk about the praxis and doing of politics in your everyday, I do mean in your everyday, all the time. Everything I do is informed by my politics, or at least I do my best to have it inform my actions. I slip up, I f*** up, I learn from it. And the thing is that, and I know you do this, and I do this, we keep people around us that will tell us to f*** off when we f*** up. And we will. We do.
Yeah.
Like, Bellamy will come in and whip both of us if we see something wrong, for good reason.
Yeah, Bellamy's probably in the premier chat right now.
Bellamy.
Bellamy's in the premier chat right now, chatting it up, calling me the.
We love you. We love you, Bellamy. Seriously, no, like Bellamy's like one of my favorite fucking people on this planet, and part of that is that I know that Bellamy would never, ever let me being a jackass be allowed. And the same way that I know if I ever said some fucking racist shit around you, but like, it's possible, it'll probably happen. I'm a fucking white person. Like, there's no way that I don't have some shit I haven't unpacked yet.
Yeah. I definitely said a lot of really bad things. You don't clip me. Don't click. I just did twice in this video, but off screen I mess up a lot too, like just how I did.
Yeah, we mess up. We mess up. And the thing is, I'm a f*** up.
You gotta extend that grace to other people, because the beginning of this video, like, you're just like shitting down these people's throats. How are they gonna hear you? They're not gonna hear you. Like, if what you say is that your ultimate goal is to change these people's minds or to bring them onto your side, you have to do that in a way that people will hear you or be willing to receive what you're saying. If you're strategy is just like, fuck these guys, they're a piece of shit. That's like, I don't care, kill them in the streets or whatever. Like, no one, they're not gonna hear. No one's gonna listen to you. Like, what do you? Obviously, they're not gonna be able to receive that at all.
I make mistakes. Most recent mistake, okay? Khadijah's most recent video. I had a giant fucking red line down the middle of me because I left it. I use the red line for lining up my shots when I'm filming, and I just left it in. And like, I could have just let people, like, a lot of people were thinking it was like a purposeful artistic decision, and I could let people think that, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna admit that I messed up. Like, and that's a silly mess up. But
Okay,
I think it's
I was like that. Like, yes, but
thing of like, I believe that it is valuable to discuss when we don't do something correctly. Because if you can't do it for the small stuff, then how the hell are you gonna do it when you fuck up bad? And I fucked up bad. Like, I've had times where I've said shit, and like most of the time people forget that they've corrected me, which I find interesting. But I think that's the sort of same thing that, like, I don't remember like 90% of the times that I've corrected you. I know you've probably corrected me at some point on something. Like, there's no way you haven't, you know, because what Jubilee wants to present themselves as is these quote-unquote productive conversations, which are coming from different perspectives. But the thing is that the politics informing the way that you engage with that perspective matters, right? Different people coming together to discuss their experiences in a feminist framework is going to be productive because you have a common ground and understanding about the world, right? But what Jubilee
let me back that up.
People coming to engage with that perspective matters. Politics informing the way that you engage with that perspective matters.
Okay, right? I agree with that.
People coming together to discuss their experiences in a feminist framework is going to be productive.
I think I agree with that sentence with the words that she said, but I have a feeling that our interpretation of that is going to be different. Because the way I understood that sentence was essentially people coming together to talk about their different perspectives on femininity or feminism. Totally fine. That sounds like a very productive conversation. I'd love to see it. Maybe be a part of it. Like, I get that. Like, that sounds great. But the term of in the framework of that, I worry if her interpretation of that is multiple people coming together to talk about their different perspectives, but holding her ideal of feminism, having make sure that all of those people agree. And there's definitely use to that. There's definitely that would be productive as well, but I would venture to say that it's not as productive as the latter.
Because you have a common ground and understanding about the world, right? But what Jubilee is doing is Jubilee is running a business on sensationalization and centrist ideological messaging. So they present these things as verses, which is not how you want to have a productive conversation.
They're trying to cast the net like as wide as possible.
Yeah, but they also want to present certain viewpoints as acceptable. Viewpoints which are openly breaching the...
I don't know if that's what Jubilee's goal is. I feel like that's a little inference. Like, I don't know if their goal is... Like, I've watched some of their middle ground videos, and they'll literally have, like, hold on, let me pull up ye old Jubilee. Just look at some of their last couple of videos. All right, so in the last middle ground videos, come on. Yeah, so there's the Muslim versus ex-Muslim, liberal gays versus conservative gays, black conservatives versus white liberals, pro versus anti-abortion. That's when I kind of want to. I might watch that one next. I'll tab that. Models versus teen girls. That might be a really good one too. Huh. That's actually pretty good. Oh, Jesus. Alpha male versus beta male. I kind of want to watch that one too. There's some good ones. There's some good ones that I haven't seen yet. Like, I think I've seen clips from some of these, but I don't think I've watched all of these now. But yeah, I don't like, okay, so like if I look at this like alpha male versus beta male, I think those terms are stupid. I think it's, I think if you go around like believing that that's like a thing that people in the everyday world look at, it's probably not going to lead you to having a good time. It's probably not going to lead you to having a good like experience through life. But I wouldn't say that one of these sides is evil. I wouldn't say that one of these ideas is like this is like a fascist or like really like I wouldn't give it like that inflated like negative thing. I think they're silly, but I also think both are silly. I don't think like, oh, beta males are totally fine, but alpha males, that's just cringe, or vice versa. It's just looking at life through the like that mindset is just like, why do that? Same thing with like the models versus teen girls. There's nothing wrong with models, and obviously there's nothing wrong with like teenagers. Like, but like I don't think even the pro versus anti-abortion. I can understand like. I can understand where people are coming from both of the arguments. I have my own personal opinion. Like, I think abortion should be illegal. Abortion should be legal. I just realized that's like, I said that very fast and it could be misinterpreted as both ways. But I'm not going to call the people that are against it like evil, fascist, like white supremacist. Like it's like you give them all these labels and then it's like, but I want you to agree with me. I want you to change. They're not gonna like you just call them a fucking fascist. Like they're not gonna hear anything you have to say. Like this strategy of like I just like absolutely dunking and shitting on people is just it doesn't do anything in my opinion. It literally is a waste of time. All it does is like get you subscribers, in my opinion. All it does is get people around you that like circle jerk and just like, yeah, I agree with you, and then like that's it. There's nothing. It doesn't actually. You don't move anybody. Like you just circle jerking. It's like a waste of air.
Paradox of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the paradox of tolerance is, but just in case the audience doesn't, paradox of tolerance is the idea that you cannot tolerate intolerance if you are going to have tolerance as a fundamental tenet of your society and experience, right? You cannot allow fascists because fascists destroy tolerance. It is a paradox. You cannot tolerate fascism. You cannot tolerate racism. You cannot tolerate sexism. You cannot tolerate white supremacist patriarchal capitalism if you're going to have a productive conversation. You just can't. This is why I'm very tired of this thing of like, oh, nobody wants to have a conversation anymore. It's like, no, I'm perfectly happy to have these conversations where we disagree on things. But that ends the instant you start advocating for a marginalized group being oppressed. When you start advocating for systems that harm us.
My platform and what it embodies is just like everyone talking about intersectionality, no matter who you are.
If we cannot engage, as Bell Hooks lines out, in a
that feels like that was something cut
everybody, there. A feminism which reaches people where they're at in their personal lives, it will fail. And the way that we need to do that, and you and I are doing this right now by having a dialectic. A feminism which reaches people where they're a feminism
who you are.
If we cannot engage, as Bell Hooks lines out, in a feminism that is for everybody, a feminism which reaches people where they're at in their personal lives, it will fail. And the way that we need to do that, and you and I are doing this right now by having a dialectic, by having a conversation, by engaging in...
No, I disagree with it. I think that they're doing nothing. I won't say nothing, but I don't think that they're doing what they think they're doing. These are two people that agree with each other, echoing off of each other, which is it's not useless, but it's definitely like when you can't say that you need to reach people where they are. Like your feminism needs to reach people where they are, but then not do that. Like that's you're only giving that verbal credence and not actually like meeting people where they are. Sometimes that means you're going to have to talk to somebody who doesn't like, who might have like really hurtful opinions or thoughts or of you or some characteristic of yourself that you hold pretty close to what you would define as what makes you you. But I think if the end goal is that you want to reach as many people and try to maybe get your message out there or maybe change the way that people think, you can't just say that you want to meet people where you have to do it. And I don't know. I like parts of what they're saying. I think they're coming from a really good place. But I think, unfortunately, what happens is like, and I do this shit too. Sometimes, like you'll hear something that someone says, and it just triggers you fucking gutturally, and then you just don't like you do things that are not in service to the goals that you want. And it's not on purpose. It's just like, I don't know. That's why, like, I don't want to attribute 100% malice to these people. I think they're coming. I think most people. Nobody's really a villain in their story. I mean, there's some fucking psychopaths out there, but most people aren't coming or interacting with life or the world in a way where they're like, they're not jokers. Jokers are rare. Like Batman jokers. Those type of people are extremely rare. They're not people that just want to see the world burn. Most people are interacting with the world in a way that they think is good. But if you label people as white supremacists and fascists the moment they say something that is off brand or off of what you think is right, you're not gonna reach anybody. You're just gonna be making a bunch of enemies. Like it doesn't do any good.
Intersectional analysis from our standpoints and from our unique experiences is we are performing what bell hooks lines out in Feminism, a Transformational Politic. What frustrates me about Jubilee is they want to present themselves as if they are doing that. I see, I had a fucking point this whole time. I was really clever.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/Aaronog,
Patreon.com.
I think the video got desynced there. I don't know. Don't know if I'd ever watch anything from their channel again. I think the racial slurs things is just kind of like cringe. I think that's I guess like, but I will say I think that the underlying message of what they're trying to get out there, I would agree with. Like I think that's the goal. If you want to bring people together, like you have to be able to have those conversations, but you need to be able to. Not everybody's able to do that. I don't think everybody. Like some people are just whatever their life experiences are just too raw. They're not able to have those conversations in a productive manner, and that's fine. I don't think everybody has to be able to do that. But I feel like if you're going to do that, or you're going to present yourself as somebody who is doing that, you gotta be able to do that. Like that means not calling people racial slurs the moment they say something that you don't like, or just because they're white. That's wild to me. That's actually insane. Like, but anywho, this has been fun. I haven't had a fun stream like this in a little bit. I'm hyped to see that there's some people from Kick stopping by. All the people from Twitch stopping by. I am not hyped to see that my dashboard just didn't work. I'm gonna see if I can. Nope, that's the wrong dashboard. Give me my bookmarks. Let me see. Let's see if we can get that working before I call it a night. And maybe I can catch some of the people that probably subscribed and followed and stuff that missed because just decided not to work for whatever reason. Can I not log in? Am I not allowed? It's not. Okay. I was like, I feel like every time I go to this website, it's completely different. Sure. Sure. That's me. All right. I got it. Thank you. Okay. Man, it's been a while. It's been a little bit since I've looked at this. That's crazy. Where is my event box? Where is it? There it is. Show me. No, I don't need a tutorial. I know how it works. Thanks. Let's test it out. Test a big old follow. Hey, it worked. The music worked. The audio worked. Okay, so it does work. We love to see it. Oh, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Tomorrow is Thursday? Today's Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. I might do this again tomorrow. Honestly, I might start a little bit earlier though, just because this ran a bit later than I wanted it to. But this is fun. If you like talking about weird shit on the internet and playing weird games, then swing on by. We'll keep this thing going. We're clicking buttons. Clicking buttons, the wrong buttons. But yeah, this is fun. I appreciate everybody coming out. People that are lurking, people that are chatting. It's always nice to have people in chat to bounce ideas off of. So thank you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.